Hey my ducks, and welcome back to Sharpie's Koi. I've been here for a couple of weeks. Not really had a lot to do, but also I've been so busy just doing other stuff. So hence why I've not posted for a couple of weeks, so apologies on that. But new bit of equipment, turning you that way, I'll spin you around. In there is my retro bottom drain, finally. So I've probably gone for the expensive one, to be honest. So I've gone for the membrane aerated version, so the bubbles come through the membrane. I didn't like the one with all the coils wrapped around it. Obviously that's the air pipe that goes with it. And I've also gone for the low profile kit as well, which is that bit of pipe that goes around, rather than the pipe that sticks up and then the pipe comes off the side. I just thought the fish can just whack themselves on it and scrape themselves on it a bit more than this. If they do it on this, probably cause a bit less damage, and also then it can just run across the bottom of the floor of the pond. So I've actually picked this up from Daz Shelton at Skegness Pond Supplies. So I'm sure you all know Daz and Skegness Pond Supplies, but if you don't, go and check it out. I'll put the link up somewhere, either on the screen or it'll be in the description below. But yeah, so Daz, he helped me out there, so really good site to get your stuff from. Or your dry goods. He does food as well. I even picked up some Takazumi from him as well. So we can get this installed. I've also got the part which will go onto my pump, which is somewhere. Oh, you see a lot, because I don't know if you saw from past videos, I couldn't get the right part which fitted onto my Pondtech pump. So I spoke to a guy called Brendan at the Koi Show in Coventry a few weeks back, and he got me in touch with Japan Koi Imports, and they sorted out me the right connection. It came next day. Fantastic site, fantastic company to work with. So go and check them out for any parts that you need. Fingers crossed that will do the job. So I can get that on the pump. Obviously cut the hose tail down. I'm just going to hose tail it from the bottom drain to the pump. And I've already got my hose tail, the flexi pipe that goes from the pump to the Nexus anyway. So I'm just going to keep it flexi for now. And in terms of position, what I'm going to do, because obviously mine's an L-shaped pond, it's a bit more awkward. I mean, ideally you could put in two retro drains, so one there on that L, and of course one in the middle here, which would probably work perfect, but that's just more money, an extra pump and all that as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it, I think, about here. Got a few advice from some other koi keepers, rather than the middle there, a bit further around here, so it will draw everything from here. Everything's going to be pushed from that side anyway with the flow of the Nexus, and plus I've got air stones on the back. I need to try and make sure my air stones are a bit further down actually, so it lifts the crap up off the floor, then everything can be pushed into the retro drain. Might be a bit trial and error, a bit like the back here, but that's a case of seeing how we go. Now if you can actually see on camera, I'm not sure how much justice it actually does because of the reflection, but it is absolutely crystal clear. But the problem I have, and I've said it before on past videos, I get a dip in the pond, and a lot of the crap sits there, which I'm not sure again you can see on camera, but believe me, there's a lot of waste which just sits on there. It does gradually go to the pump which is there, but it can take a while. But yeah, the water is crystal clear. If I come around this side, the light's on it a bit better. I'm not sure if you've been able to see, so you can just see bits of crap. So fingers crossed the retro drain is going to do its job and just get everything off the bottom of that floor. Fish loving life. So we'll get everything set up. It's already got stones and stuff to weigh it down. It's quite a heavy kit, to be fair, once everything's in there. I haven't got any little fish, because obviously if you had little fish they could probably get sucked up in there, but I'm fine with that. So we'll get it set up. I'll get the connection onto the pump, I'll get the cage off the old pump that's in there. I think the pump, I'm just going to keep it where it is rather than cut down the hose, because then I'm just going to run, I've got more hose anyway. I'll just run hose from the drain across to the pump, and the pump can then pump it. But I suppose it's working harder then, isn't it, if it's doing that? I don't really need to do it. I could move the pump on the other side, because then it's only got to suck it in from the drain here, and then straight up to, might work. Don't need to work as hard. We'll see how we go. I could do with cutting all these back a bit and all. Right, let's get everything out and then we'll go through it. We'll do a proper unboxing. Right, so normally you have your bottom drain, and then what it comes with, get it out of the bag one-handed, is that, which obviously is another connector that goes in the middle, but then that will sit on top like that, and the pipe just comes from there. So we're not going to need that. So this is the low profile kit. So once the bend 90 is on there, that will slot into there, and of course then it can just run across the bottom of the pond to the pump. So I think just less hassle for the fish to whack themselves on and scrape themselves on. It's a bit more safe to do so. Of course, if I use the Jubilee clip to put the pipe on, I'll just wrap the Jubilee clip in tape. But yeah, that'll be alright. Fingers crossed my air pump will be okay, but I think I'm going to need another connector because the pipe, that ain't going to fit into my air pump. It's too big. Unless I can use my standard airstone pipe that comes from the air pump and then just fit that into there, that should work. So I'll have to see how that goes. So yeah, I won't solve anything in place yet. We'll dry run it. What else we got in here? Don't need that hose tail. That goes, oh that went, does that go under there if you're using that? Don't know. One of these does. That one. So if you wasn't using the low profile kit, no, don't know. Suppose I should read the instructions. I ain't using that anyway, so we can get that on. So here's the Pontec pump. Cage is off. I needed a clean anyway, but it doesn't matter. But I'll still give that clean while I put it away in storage. So obviously that's what runs to the Nexus, and all being well, this what I've picked up from Japan Koi Imports is going to fit. So it's a moment of truth. This is the first time I'm trying it, and yes, thank God, that's going to tighten up on there. So then all I need to do now is get some flexi hose. We'll put that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep it as it is rather than cut anything down for now while I'm trialing it. So we can keep that the full length. So I'll keep the pump basically this side rather than cut anything down for now while I just want to try it all while I dry run it. We'll just get a bit of pipe on there to run to the drain, which we'll put into the pond as well. Don't know how I'm going to do that yet without getting wet. Might have to get in, don't know. Luckily it's warm enough. So yeah, I've obviously still got to cut down the hose on that side and cut down the hose on that side. So I'll go and get my flexi out the garage and then we can get that set up. I have to come to Japanese War Gardens. I need some connectors from the air pump. You can't come to your koi dealer and not look at the fish while you're here. And some fish deals, get yourself down here guys. Still a few fish to be had before the season finishes. Look at that Benedict Creole. A lot of buy two, get one free deals. There's little fish at the back. Quick look at the big ones before we have to go back. Still got that Deutsche Matsuba in here.
Deutsche Matsuba?
Yeah.
I've turned the arrow for a bit of steel.
You had it a while back and it was beautiful. I think it's gone. Hey my dogs, it's actually the next day. Because by the time I came back from the koi place, I had that much to do. I just didn't get a chance to finish off my... So I'm just putting my shoes on if you're wondering what I'm doing. I didn't get a chance to come out and finish the retro drone, so a bit duller today and hoping this rain holds off while I come out and finish it. I picked up some more flexi hose as well while I was there. I didn't have enough, I thought I did but I didn't, so I've got some more flexi hose and I think I've got the right connectors for my air pump. If not, I don't know what I'm going to do there, but we'll have a look. So yeah, I'm just actually going to start a Nexus clean while we start sorting out the retro drain. something else that needs doing, and I might even get a bit of a hoover in there as well, so get all the bottom cleaned up before we actually put the retro drain down, so at least I've got a nice clear floor for when we put it in and sort of starting afresh, if you know what I mean. So right, we'll crack on, get the Nexus clean first. Right, so what I need to do, I've actually dropped the water a bit now, make it a bit easier to sort of get this in and out without having to get in, getting wet. So I've already solvent welded this bit, so that is all solvent welded. I've not solvent welded it yet to that, but that's not going anywhere anyway. The actual connectors the hose will connect onto, I've not solvent welded either, so basically all I've done that and that so far. So now I've just got to work out position I'm going and where I'm going to put the pump. So obviously it's out of the cage, I've already connected a bit of pipe, I just wanted to just see lengthwise how it was going to go. But I think what I am going to do is just move the pump that way. Less power I'll have to use then, because obviously for the pump's over here and the dome's over here, it's got to suck that from there to the pump, and then obviously from the pump all the way around over there. So I think it might be easier if the pump's around there and you could just suck straight in up into the Nexus. I think that'd be easier, because otherwise I'm going to have to turn that right up to sort of power it, because I think I'm going to lose a bit of power for the Nexus, which needs to be run slow. While I'm doing my Nexus cleans, I'm going to drop a little bit more water as well, so it'll be a good water change at the same time. Obviously the pond's gone a bit murky at the minute. So what I think I'm going to do, more or less under this board, is where it's going to go. So what I need to do is this pipe, because obviously I don't want that floating in the water, so if I can get that to go underneath the pipe that comes out, because don't forget that is going to be facing that way, and then what I can do, I can go where these plants are sat on bricks, I can probably feed under that, and that'll probably keep it down as well. So yes, so I think I need to get the solvent weld back out just to put solvent weld the connectors. I'm not going to do anything with the hose tail yet, because I've obviously got to work out a bit of pipe length, and we can get the pump then onto the other side. So that's the next job. Right, everything's glued. Did I glue that? That looks like it's coming out. I'll check that. What I'm going to have to do, the pump is going to have to stay down here. The reason is, the pipe that it's on, I can't even get off the connector. I've tried. So it's going to have to stay where it is, but that's fine, because the pump can go down there. I've got my Jubilee clips and I've just got to tape them up now, which means now the air pipe, despite of it coming out here, it can run under there, so that will hold it down, and then run under the pipe that's going to feed the Nexus. That should hold it down, and I can still then go through the plant pots. I might just have to come out of there and go through that one, which is no big deal. Yeah, it's right, so go and get them taped up, the Jubilee clips. My god, that was hard work. I switched it on, but I was getting error codes on my pump because it ran dry. So it's switched on. I'm not topping up the water yet. I'm going to do that in a sec. So I've still got plenty of flow coming out. I'm not had to whoop it at the minute. You've got to be careful next, so you can't have them too high. I think there's plenty still coming out of there. Fish are a bit freaked out by it. Although they're more probably freaked out by me actually messing around. So let's get these moved away. The air pipe, I don't like it. The air pipe needs to be black. It's too bright, you can see it. And I also think maybe I do need to go under that plant actually, because you can't really, you can't see anything on there. But basically it's coming from the air pump, from the retro drain. It's under the pipe that goes to the pump, and it's under the pipe that goes to the Nexus, but it's going under that plant. It needs to go under there, doesn't it? Which is not a problem, it's just that that's an absolute beast. But because you can see it, which you can't on the camera, you just sit like that. The drain itself, again, right, I'll get the underwater camera in, and I'll start topping up the pond, we'll get the underwater camera in. There's fish waste, which I can see on the floor, which ain't going in the pump. And I've also made the mistake because it's not sitting exactly flush with the floor, because the low profile pipe that comes off it must have been a little bit long, and I've already glued it. I'll get the underwater camera, let everything settle, start topping it up. The pump is in this corner. I'm not obviously put the air on yet either, because I still need to work out how I'm going to do that. I can do it, but I can't have the air stones on at the same time. I need a connector so I can have all of them on. Let's get these moved out of the way. And typical, here comes the rain. I'll let the pond settle down a bit. I've been messing with the plants as well, so I've got a load of leaves to sort of net out. We'll get the GoPro down. The air's on. It's not very strong because it's not connected to the air pump properly, and I can't have that and the air stones on at the same time, so I might just leave the air off for now so I can still run the air stones, because I need the air stones around the corner, because that hopefully is going to push, or it's going to lift up all the crap that sits around there to push it where the nexus comes in, which then obviously then can go to the bottom drain. Typical flipping weather though, does my tree in. Right, to be honest, I'm not sure if I'm 100% happy with it or not. I mean, you've seen with the GoPro footage, there's a bit of crap that's still on the floor. It's not being sucked in. I know it's not completely flush with the floor, but it's not. There's not a massive gap. But I'm going to leave it. We're focusing on what camera? You can't see nothing with this reflection anyway, can you? But yeah, I'm going to leave it as it is for now. We'll see how we go. It's definitely cut down the flow. I'm sure I had more flow than that coming out from the Nexus, so I might have to up that a bit. There's no air coming out at the minute because I've just pulled the pipe out from the pump, so I think I'm just going to put my air stones back in, because I just want it to push all the crap this way. And then I have to look on Amazon or something like that and see if I can get a connector for the air pump, so I can have my air stones in and the pipe that runs the retro drain. But the fish don't seem freaked out about it anymore. There's a lot of crap swimming around on the top from all the plants having to tie back and stuff like that, moving around. You're not going to like that, Matty. The Keen Matsubatron eat the plant. Skimmer's off at the minute as well anyway, so until I turn that back on, nothing's going back into the skimmer. So yeah, we'll see how it is. Maybe it's because the pump's over there, and obviously it's got a lot to pull in terms of travel, and then it's got to pump it to the Nexus as well, so maybe that's a factor. But until I can sort that pipe out, which comes out the filter house. Right, so I think that job's done. I've had to put my wires back on because I've ripped all them off. It stops the heron landing on the wall. I've cut some of the jungle plant back. Well, I just have to give the back here a bit of a rinse. Can't see that again anyway. I've had to tie that plant up because that's growing all over the place. That's all tied up. Water features back on. Just need the pond to settle down a bit. It's gone a bit murky, but fish will just stay in that side. They won't come up here. a bit freaked out. I've been in there with nets and all sorts. So I'm just going to show you the air pump, just so you know. I just sort all this rubbish out. So let me just stand up here. So I've got a Superfish 30 litre per minute air pump that normally runs my air stones. This is the connection I've got, which my air pipes is on. Where's it gone? I've lost the pipe for the retro drain. Hang on a minute. It's down here. So I think that is an 8mm pipe. Of course, I want it to run off all of it without having to buy a new air pump. Got that, that won't fit in there. Got a few bits up here that I've had. So yeah, I've just got to find something to go in there. I just need to go and remeasure what that gap is as well, and I'll have a look online. Yeah, so that's about it I think for today. I've got a drip in there as well. That's what that bucket was normally for, but it's going to dry out a sec. I've put some CT1 because it was seeping under the bricks as well. I've got an headache now, guys. I'm out for a family meal tonight, so there's not much more I can do. But yeah, no, I want to get these air stones back on, because what it does, a lot of crap sits in these corners. So these air stones normally lift it up, and then obviously with the return from the Nexus it just gets pushed and it can get pushed into the drain. In terms of position of the drain, not that you can see because of the reflection, but it is there. So I think I just want to go a little bit further across, which isn't a problem. I can move my pump across with it, just so it's more in the middle. But we'll see how we go, I think. Getting it topped up. Right guys, so make sure you give me your views in the comments below. Tell me what you think, any suggestions, anything I should have done or haven't done, or how you've done yours. Just a bit more advice, and sort of take it from there really. So guys, if you like that video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe, because it's totally free, and there's probably about 40% people who watch my videos are not subscribed. So just hit that button down below. Like the video like I said, share if you want to, and I shall see you next time for another video of Sharp as Koi. See you my ducks, and bye.